believe in this show which we're doing here is basically we have visuals on the thing.
All right.
Yes. Hi, sir.
Hi.
Sir, do you mind starting us off by introducing yourself? A little brief introduction.
Sure. My name is Indraneel. I'm a visual storyteller. I started off as a documentary photographer, got into learning a little bit about films, and then I lately started understanding the form of design as an element. And that's how I've landed myself to calling myself as a visual storyteller for the reason that I've been able to hop into different mediums, into different art forms,
And how long have you been in the design
It's
field?
been 12 years now.
Wow. Okay, so for us, our project was based on transformation. And so we wanted a perspective of one of our teachers. First question would be about how do you understand the design process? Has it changed for you over the years?
This is a very subjective thing because each personality, each artist had its own way of, going through a particular process. So I believe that the process may change depending on the artist and not how it has evolved over the years, I believe, because a personality who's been doing a specific process, who's carrying a specific process, may even carry the same process even today after 15, 12 years of experience because that seems more organic for the artist, but definitely there's a major change in certain ways because the technology has been changed, right? To me the process is about not fetching for projects online, fetching for projects probably around us, and that's largely been my thought process of looking at the process work, how you record ideas, how you put down your thoughts in a form of a writing, in a form of what inspires you in the whole process. So that's something which I believe it's a very subjective thing. The process differs artist to artist.
Okay. Hi, sir. Welcome back again.
Is this on? I hope.
Yes, it's on. Okay. So right now we want to ask you questions about your photography and your life in general. So first, I want to start off with a little photography questions and then delve into a bit of your life. Uh, when you take a picture, what makes you decide to capture that particular moment or that scene? Do you have a thought process when it comes to that?
It depends on whether what kind of subject you're shooting. If you talk about something which is very spontaneous, like largely in terms of street photography or documentary, it's a two different mindset. If you're going for documentary projects, you have your specific mindset you carry because you're finding out those stories around. It totally depends on two factors: is whether you are conducting yourself with a point of view of redesigning the next moment or presence of mind. It's a conflict between the both, depending on what you conduct and how you conduct yourself as a photographer.
Does your process surprise you sometimes? There are other times where you wonder.
Honestly, a lot of my projects, when I start with my process. I have no idea where I'm going to land to, and the process is largely comes with unwanted surprises, I believe, because you may expect certain things. You may expect that this is how the outcome would land to, but the process surprises you with some other diversion, and that's something which, again, you were having a certain plan, you divert yourself to some other plan. So process does come with a lot of surprises in between, like a toll, where you have reached to first toll and you realize, okay, this is where I'm going to now jump to the second stage of it, but suddenly you get some interesting insights over it, allows you to revamp the whole idea. So the process does come with surprises, quite often.
So do you consider that there are any mistakes in design, or do you use your mistakes as to continue? Something has changed, more transformation in a way.
Design, to me, I believe it's all about interpretation. When you make a design, if it has been interpreted by your audience very well, but irrespective of how many mistakes you can see it in it, uh, if your audience is able to receive it, then probably that's something which you are able to communicate. So It's not about how many mistakes you have done, or maybe you have found a mistake. Right? Every designer finds at the end of the day, when the project is out there, you know what are the loopholes, right? But those loopholes are very well controlled, and probably the audience is able to ignore that fact that okay, this is still serving the purpose of it. And I believe that that can be ignored well, because the reason why is the outline uh, of this communication would be like it's all about interpretation.
And what about like photography? Were you always interested in it?
Not really.
Not really.
I really wanted to get into applied arts, commercial arts. Couldn't get into it because of merits and limited seats. Honestly, I was dived into photography and digital media for the same reason. I actually wanted to get into more of, I wanted to start with design, but I had a very reverse mechanism. I got into digital media first, learned digital photography, documentary, a bit of film studies, then got into design, and that's how I'm able to connect all those things together.
Okay, so like I mentioned before, our word is transformation. So when we were thinking of different metaphors, the first thing that came to our mind was the Fevicol bottle. As designers, that's what we've been using since we were kids for our arts and craft, and we still use it now. So how do you think that the Fevicol bottle, the cap, its evolution, how it's the design has adapted over time? Do you think it's for the better? Do you like it?
I probably want to go beyond the cap of what the brand has been evolving over the years. I believe that since the start, because I've been following Mr. Piyush Pandey's whole idea of how Fevicol evolved as a language to the audience, and like to be honest, Fevicol started off with a product which was largely meant for a specific set of audience. We were largely carpenters, and that's how it was being designed in a way. It got evolved, and over the year, there's one thing which has been very well like been carved onto the idea was about bond, about relationships, and that's something which has been constant throughout the whole like process and the evolution in the design of Fevicol as well. So I guess that has changed from a reason that it has turned from one set of participants to many participants, which becomes more approachable, which becomes not becomes more friendly, and that's how it has been evolved technically, which I feel, because more than the cap, I look at how Fevicol as a brand has been evolving, and what they're trying to communicate with the audience is something which carries that attention, over the period.
That's very interesting. I didn't know about the carpenters. It was first used for carpenters.
Yeah, that's how it has
How
it has started with. If you look at when the form, the design of the Fevicol products have also changed, and now it has become more user friendly. It has become more like friendly towards the kids point of view as well. Now Fevicol is a part of the crafts. Earlier it wasn't a part of the crafts as such. It was mainly because of it's more of a carpentry thing. That's how it evolved, technically.
And do you mind me asking you, within your family, is there anyone in the artistic sphere, or was it like, were you the first? Was that like some sort of evolution in your family, or?
If you talk about filmmaking, yes, I have a family background where my cousins are from filmmaking background. My Some of my family members, they belong to film industry. My wife itself she's an actress, so that's how there's a shape. But I have no direct
lineage.
Jump into or hop into industry. I largely belong. I've spent my maximum time of my career into education industry.
Do you think transformation happens in like a spark of a moment, like an aha moment, or do you think it's a process that moves throughout?
It's a slow process. It's a slow process. It's an ongoing process. It's a very recurring process, because you transform depending on how things are evolving around you, and you must transform yourself into that, because otherwise there are a lot of artists or designers who are not able to transform themselves into the new phase of or new shape of new want of design methods. And that's how I feel that transformation is a very recurring process where you have to keep understand the fact. Of course, you may come to that spark or aha moment in between when you know that okay, this is I figured out something, and that can be a part of your process taking it ahead.
Okay, and now back to photography, because this is a question that we actually all want to know. How do you balance your authenticity with your aesthetics in the photograph? Like, I feel like many people get so caught up in aesthetics that they forget the rawness and authenticity that comes with taking a picture.
You don't naturally move out of your style. you ask yourself to move out of it so that you can really, like I said, it goes back to the same question of unlearning.
Okay, bringing this back to transformation, when you answer this question, you specified learning. Do you believe that learning is the key part of transformation? Because, in my opinion, I think transformation comes from learning. Do you agree with that, or do you have another?
200%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're able to adapt to things which are happening around you, which is evolving around you, then you're moving ahead with the moving aesthetics of the world as well. Otherwise, you get stuck with your own style, your own perspective, your own way of understanding design and putting up your voice as a design. So I believe that moving along with how things are turning, and again, design for me, it's like, what's the need of that today's time? What's the need of that particular time? And if you're able to communicate that same aesthetics in that particular given time using that new change or new shape of design, I believe then you're able to communicate and relate to the audience well rather than being trapped into your own style.
And now you are a teacher to all of us over here. What is something that you've learned from your students? Have we changed your outlook in some way about design, I would say?
Uh, when I look at you all, I can go back to myself and look at the mirror and reimagine myself at this stage. One thing I realized the fact that today's generation is able to put their ideas fearlessly, whereas we were a little fearful about the ideas and how we can execute it. We were thinking a lot about before we executing on a paper. And one interesting side about it is when I see that we largely look at ideas around us being sticking to the realistic experience around us, whereas looking at the young minds today, they have an ability to relate the reality with their imaginary mindset, something which doesn't exist technically, and that existence can become a part of your reality as well. So the ability to bring those things together becomes more of a unique part, which I've been finding quite unique.
Do you think that evolution throughout time has affected that? Like the way that we do undeniably have way more resources that you would have or our parents would have had. So do you think that has played a lot?
100%. 100%, because that has evolved over the year, because a lot of resources have come. There's always an advantage and disadvantage to the kind of resources you all have received, because when you have too many resources, you're not able to make a choice of what to use and how to use it. So that's where probably in that case, when we were very limited with the resources, maybe our ideas were more organic in terms of what we see around us. Rather, in your case, it made a change by seeing beyond what we see in real life. So that's something which I see, and that's 100% true that it evolved over the time. Our resources backed up.
Finally, when you think about your entire journey, how do you think transformation, how have you transformed? How do you think evolution has changed your design, your work, and yourself in general?
Design or visual storytelling, because that's something which I surround myself with. I've realized the fact that I've evolved emotionally better as an artist than just looking at the aesthetic side of the design. Design has always been created to also trigger the emotions of the participants. To give you a simple example, like I generally travel by metro, and there are two different metros. One is a blue line, which is like it takes to a different line of the Mumbai suburbs, and there's a yellow line. I'm a kind of person who loves aesthetics. In my house, the moment I see white lights, I turn it into a warm white, because I love that aesthetic. Uh, Now that's a triggering point. If you see a simple idea that when you know that you're in a blue line, the metros are having white lights, and when you go to the yellow line, when you enter the yellow line metro, all the metros are having warm white. Technically, it's a subtle change in the design and the communication that when you are in the warm light, you don't have to really look for in which metro you are. It just triggers the emotions like you are in the so that's a subtle way of how you communicate and bring design a part of your ecosystem. And to me, I've realized over the years that make designs to express or bring a voice, and to me, I've emotionally been developed, emotionally evolved to understand that what we produce is to relate to their emotional connection between the artist or the art and the audience in itself. So yeah. That's all I feel.
Do you have any regrets when it comes to your design journey, your transformation journey? And if you do, would that lead to any advice for us, your students?
One thing I've been observing a lot is like getting inspirations about ideas. Brainstorming generally used to happen on paper. It used to be about how observant are you about things around you. Now it has become quite reverse. We consume a lot of inspiration which is already existing online, and we try to adapt that and then look and fetch for some on outdoor inspirations. I believe that if you can just move out of the screens, the young minds, and probably look for ideas around it. A lot of projects of which I've come across, which has standed out just for one core reason, is they've brought this idea from their experience, from what they're rooted from, rather than adapting something. It's as simple as you come from Karnataka. If you bring some interesting side about Karnataka, that would be a best idea because you know every bit of the nerve about it. If you're going to talk about Finland in sitting in India, have no idea of not never been to Finland, it doesn't work.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your time again.
Thank you so much. Worked well.
Okay. Hi. Hi, Ayanna.
Okay, so you're ready? Are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Let's go.
Let's start. Okay. So I first want to start off by asking you to introduce yourself to our viewers who do not know you.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Shreya Satardekar. I'm from Goa and I'm 19. Yeah.
And what are you doing at Atlas University? What are you studying?
Studying in first year currently, planning for product design.
So my first question would be, how do you experience or think what the design process is to you? Is it structured? Is it messy? Is it something that just comes to you, or does it like take time?
Yeah, I'd like to say it's structured, but if I'm being honest, it's messy for me. I start by putting everything onto a page, ideas, thoughts, fragments, all of them. And then I slowly begin to like connect all the chaos. And yeah, I think the mess is where the magic begins for me.
Hi, welcome back, Shreya. Hi, Ayanna. Okay. So right now, I want to ask you about your interest in photography and a little about your personal life as well. But I'm going to start off with photography, and I'm really curious about this answer. How do you decide which moments or scenes are the most important to capture when you take a photograph?
You know, rather than you thinking about it, it just comes to you. You just feel like, oh, this is what I need to capture. So photography more is like an expression of self for me.
So when it comes to design, obviously I'm guessing that's your main focus here. When did you think design changed for you? When did you see it as something that you want to do for the rest of your life? Was there a specific point, or is it something that you've always?
The thing is, I've always been a person who feels too deeply. So rather than saying it completely changed the way I look at things, I would say that design polished the way that I look at things. To be specific, we had this one assignment where we had to look into our daily objects and find something meaningful. So I think that made me like sit with all my belongings, and I realized each of them had some story that was like waiting to be told. And I realized then that, the world, it just made the world seem less random and more intentional. So I think I love that about design.
You mentioned before you're from Goa. Living in Goa, it is such a nature-filled area and it's so serene and beautiful. Do you think that Goa has inspired you in many ways when it comes to design, when it comes to your art, your photography?
I would say rather than just design and photography, Goa has influenced my entire personality. I think that I would be the physical embodiment of Goa if it was a person. Pretty chill like that, and you can actually see it in my photography and my designs as well. Quite minimal, but it speaks for itself.
To ask you a little bit about your family, is anyone in your family in design or art, or are you one of the first?
Professionally, I would be one of the first, but I get my artistic skills from my dad. Actually, he loves painting. So
Very interesting.
I used to paint with him as a kid. Now he doesn't have the time for that, so I would like my dad to paint with me right now, but he's just too busy for that. But yeah, I get it from him.
Okay, now moving fast all these deep questions.
Right.
As transformation, we were trying to derive a metaphor for it, and the first metaphor that came to our mind as design students, as artists, was the Fevicol cap. How the Fevicol cap has changed from one thing and now it's something else.
Right.
A design that I don't particularly like. But so, what is one thing that, looking at this design, has it made you think or rethink change within yourself in any way?
I think I've rethought my grip on perfection. I used to hold on too tightly to my ideas and I'd want them to be perfect from the start. I've learned to let them breathe and evolve with me. So I think that has changed.
We asked this question to Sir as well, stumped him a little bit. I would like to ask you as well, because I feel like you are quite the embodiment of this question. How do you balance authenticity with aesthetics in photograph?
Authenticity with aesthetics in photograph. I think, when you focus or you think too much into that shot, you would not get authentic results. When you just want to capture a vibe rather than a person or a specific thing, that is when you get authentic shots. For me, that was what I personally believe.
Okay. And like I mentioned before, you're coming from Goa. Goa is a very slow state, I would say. How do you feel being here, being in a design school, being in Mumbai, being in such a fast pace? Like, does it affect your emotional state in any way?
Definitely does. It does a lot. Because I think the first few months were just me trying to deal with this space. Because I wasn't used to this rush, the noise, everything. So it did take some time, but it's fine now. It's tolerable.
I'm going to go back to transformation just for a little bit. I thought of a question right now. Do you have a key moment in your life that you say that you've transformed? Like, was it coming here? Did you feel that transformation coming here? Or did it happen previously, before? But was there a key moment?
A thing that I personally believe in is that transformation is simplicity. And simplicity is not safe. Okay, so me coming here from Goa to Mumbai, complete chaos. That would be my transformation that I've been through recently, and honestly worth it.
Okay, now let's talk about teachers teaching. Whether it is a teacher here or a teacher back home, what is one thing that you have learned from your teacher, that's something that you carry forward?
In terms of design perspective, I would say that something that has stuck with me is complexity isn't depth. That has stuck with me because now that I've learned that fact, I realize that, the most ordinary ideas can be transformed into something beautiful if you just look at it from a different perspective. It's just, that when you think of it, that thought itself, it will keep you from overcomplicating things, and it will help you stay true to the core of what you're designing.
That was such a authentic. I really like that answer, I must say. Okay. Now this question I've been waiting to ask you. When you think of transformation, do you see it as a goal you're moving towards or a process you've already started and been through? Because for me, I feel like I can be a very goal-oriented person and I get caught up in that. So what is it to you?
For me, it's the process I'm already in. I believe transformation doesn't knock when it enters. It just happens quietly while you're busy growing. And you only realize it when you look back and barely recognize where you used to be or who you used to be.
This is a little personal, but I want you to answer this with all honesty. What do you regret and what do you not regret when it comes to your artistic and design life, your journey? Is there anything that you feel looking back that you've regretted?
Something that I regret would definitely be not starting earlier. That kids going to art academies at a young age, getting better at it at a young age. I think if I could go back in time, I would probably develop my skills at an earlier age. But, honestly, it's fine. I mean, there's nothing that I can do right now, but I'm working hard.
Yeah, so going forward, how do you intend to change that?
Going forward, I think just working hard, developing my skills through various creative mediums. I feel like when you're limited to one creative medium, being painting, sketching, you can't develop your thinking creatively more. Once you get into a lot of different types of creative fields, and you experience what it is like thinking out of the box in each of these fields, you get the essence of what creativity actually is. So yeah.
And do you imagine what kind of designer you're going to be in a few years? I know that's such a superficial question. I know everyone asks that. What are you going to be in 5 years? But I don't know. I think, like, where do you see yourself as a designer? I would say specifically.
I think about that all the time, honestly. I would say that is what keeps me going, like seeing a future for myself. I see myself as a designer who designs for people. I want my designs to make small but meaningful shifts in their lives. I don't want my designs to just look good, I want them to do good.
Okay, now finally, my last question for you is, we're drawing back to transformation as a word. What does transformation mean to you? Is it about growth? Is it about discovery, adaptation, learning to survive in whatever you've been given? What do you think, John?
Honestly, it's a mix of all three, but if you ask me to choose one, I'd definitely lean more towards growth. Growth in how I see, how I think, how I exist. I believe that's all a very significant part of transformation. Every part of my life, as a designer, as a daughter, as a student, as a friend, I believe that all feeds into that transformation. And honestly, we are all just, learning how to be more ourselves. And I believe that is what truly transformation is.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure to interview you.
Thank you.
Thank you once again.
Thank you.